Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. In fact, Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/podcast free. All lowercase, shopify.com/podcast free, shopify.com/podcast free.
Welcome to the conspiracy theory is the Titanic was like shredded, or the Olympic was, I believe. The Olympic was like down bad, and they didn't have insurance on it. They painted over it and named it the Titanic, swapped it over, made it identical, then swapped them, and then had everyone get on the ship. The conspiracy is that the ship, basically the ships were swapped out. They knew all about it. It was basically like an insurance thing because he didn't want to spend, a couple $100 million or whatever on the reparations or repairing one of the ships. So he just sent it down along with his competitors.
Any kind of conspiracy to me, I mean, I love that the little rabbit trails of conspiracy, but I'm like, there's too many people, it sounds like, to be involved to just coordinate and not get caught. I mean, and also, you'd think somewhere in that conspiracy, it's like, and guys, we're going to kill 2,000, 3,000 people to do this? Like, that sounds like so malicious. It's like, wow,
Bro, I can totally see these multi-millionaire, billionaire people, man, the ones who run the world. I don't think they would bat an eye.
So you believe in the Illuminati then? Or some version of it?
Dude, okay, there's definitely... We're getting into it, man. I was not ready for this. Welcome, one and all, to the AFK with Ninja, and buckle up because today, oh boy, we got a doozy for you. We're joined by content creator and legend, the maestro magic vine man himself, Zach King. Zach is a remarkable internet personality and video magician who's breaking viewership records and blowing minds worldwide. I mean, the man somehow managed to snatch Big Ben right out of London in broad daylight, and he's still walking free. He's working with some up-and-comers. You might have heard of them. Tom Brady, Selena Gomez, Gal Gadot, as well as a few brands, a couple you might know of, Nike, Disney, Apple, and Coca-Cola. Oh, yeah, he won a Mr. Beast challenge for $1 million. Doll hairs, shout out to Jimmy. And then gave the money away. Now let's talk TikTok. Zach isn't just dominating feeds. He's practically owning the platform. He has the most watched TikTok of all time under his belt, and that belt's massive because the views are insane, as well as several videos in the top 10 spots. He's committed to bring a little more magic to the world, 15 seconds at a time. But beyond the magic and the mind-bending tricks, he's a guy who radiates kindness, a down-to-earth father and husband who's also involved with foster programs and nonprofit work. So without further ado, please join us, giving the warmest welcome to the one and only Zach King. Zach, how you doing, man?
You're right. That is the longest intro I think I've ever had.
I always read these, man, and they're always amazing.
That's so funny. That's actually more fun than a Wikipedia page, though. That should be the new one.
Listen, I think all Wikipedia is like edited, right? I'll have my team just sign in and just replace it. And we'll see how long it takes for people to either change it or just fall in love with it. I don't know, do you like upvote it?
There's a couple things in life that I don't even know how work. Like Wikipedia is one of them. And the other site, are you listed on IMDb for any of the TV projects you've done or even I don't know how it knows what to put. It'll put some of my short film work there and then random YouTube videos. And I'm like, well, I don't who runs that?
Oh, so dude, there's a photo. There's a headshot that I took, man. It was for Red Bull. It wasn't really for Red Bull, but it was just a headshot, in general. And wow, it is literally used more than any fucking headshot ever. If I don't tell them which one to use, this is their default one to go to. And I look the worst I've ever looked. My ears are pushed out and wide for some reason, wider than they normally are. And I'm super skinny and I have this weird half smile.
Well, it's random. You got to be careful what photos. You never know what, I have this one photo. I went to a premiere for, I can't remember the movie. It was a Michael Bay movie. And I had just been stung by some bees and I felt absolutely terrible. And I went And I was literally like going to the bathroom, throwing up from the venom because I'm highly allergic. But I remember the red carpet photos. I looked totally out of it. And that is the one photo that like a lot of the press releases now just still use. I'm like, why that photo?
I think they do it on purpose, man. I think it's like I'm serious. Like there's like, for some reason, maybe there's just like little respect or less respect for content creation of some sort, right? And they want to like, it's like the mainstream media's way of like little jabs at your profession. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I'm more optimistic in life than that. Like,
I'm super optimistic, but I'm also like a super realist, man. Especially when it comes to like little conspiracy stuff like that. Like, you know, when the news is pushing stuff in your face, it's because they're distracting you from something. Like that's kind of where I'm at right now in my.
What other conspiracies do you believe in right now?
Dude, so the Titanic, right? The Titanic and the what's the other? It's Mothership. What was it called? Hold up.
Wait, there's a mothership to Titanic?
No, Titanic and the Olympic.
Okay, is it how they cloned it or something? Or like
no, so it was already cloned. So it's a sister ship, right? And they're literally like identical. Besides, you know, obviously the name on the outside, and you know some of the furniture and stuff on the inside. So the conspiracy theory is the owner of the Titanic and the Olympic didn't have. So the Titanic was like shredded, or the Olympic was, I believe. The Olympic was like down bad, didn't have insurance on it. They painted over it and named it the Titanic, swapped it over, made it identical, then swapped them, and then had everyone get on the ship, right? Dude, there's like so much more involved into this, but I'm going to try to just give you like the broad strokes. So basically everybody that had a say in like the gold or the finances of like the world, like some of the richest people in the world, the owner of the Titanic and the Olympic, he was their competitors, right? And at the very last second, he gets off of the ship and doesn't take his trip, but all of his competitors were on the ship. And then obviously the ship went down and died. You know, everyone died on the ship. The conspiracy is that basically the ships were swapped out. They knew all about it. It was basically like an insurance thing because he didn't want to spend, you know, a couple $100 million or whatever on the reparations or repairing one of the ships. So he just sent it down along with his competitors.
My question there would be, so the captain who died, I mean, that's what we're told, right? He'd have to be in on that to crash it, correct?
I don't know. These are great questions.
Like the dude would have been suicidal.
Maybe they just got a new captain, like a last minute, you know. See, these are the questions that I love. I've heard this conspiracy 1,000 times, like all over TikTok. And you just asked like a question that kind of already like it needs to be answered, right? Because it's a great question. Any
kind of conspiracy to me, I mean, I love that the little rabbit trails of conspiracy, but I'm like, there's in that one even there's too many people, it sounds like, to be involved to just coordinate and not get caught. I mean, and also, I mean, you'd think somewhere in that conspiracy, it's like, and guys, we're going to kill 2,000, 3,000 people to do this. Like, I don't know. That sounds like so malicious. It's like, wow,
Bro, I can totally see these multi-millionaire, billionaire people, man. The ones who run the world. I don't think they would bat an eye.
So you believe in the Illuminati then? Or some version of it?
Dude, okay, there's definitely, I mean, look at BlackRock, man. Like we're getting into it, man. I was not ready for this. There's BlackRock and Vanguard like own the world.
Yep.
They own a percentage of literally every single company, or own every company that makes any money whatsoever. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows like where they came from, how long they've been around.
Wait, what do you mean? We don't know who founded BlackRock?
I mean, I think we do, but like what I mean is like there's so much mystery behind these two companies that somehow own the world. Like let's like really think about that. People are like, oh, Coca-Cola and Pepsi are like the two most dominant. It's like Vanguard and BlackRock like own those. So like how, you know what I mean? How big do you think they are if they can own the two of the biggest corporations of the world?
Yeah, it feels like a natural progression of like conglomerates though. Like I guess I imagine the bigger your company gets, you have to start buying other companies and you probably run out. It's a weird thing to imagine, but maybe you run out of things to buy. How would you spend like 50 or what are they worth? $3 trillion or something? Have you seen that website where you can spend Bill Gates' money? It allows you, yeah, it's like fake. So if you had the bank account, it gives you a bunch of things you could buy, all the way from like a candy bar, and then you could just click it and add, 5,000 candy bars. But you can also, it goes down, you can buy like Boeing 747s, tanks, militaries, islands, yachts, ships. And it's like actually surprisingly difficult to spend the money because it's also accruing at the rate up top. that he's actually earning it too. So you're buying like fleets of armies, and it's still like just the number barely drops, and you're like, what?
Oh my God, it's listening. I typed in spend, and it's literally spend Bill Gates money.
Spend Bill Gates money. It knows. It already BlackRock is listening. Do you have any conspiracies on YouTube right now?
I've been saying that I've been shadowing on YouTube for my Ninja account for like almost 2 to 3 years.
Why is it? What was what did you see a drop in something?
So I did it to myself. I saw a drop in everything. I went through like a little like dark phase during COVID where I just kind of like went into like a turtle shell and stopped really focusing on streaming Fortnite and uploading like actual content, and kind of just played whatever I wanted. So I ended up playing this game called Final Fantasy 11 for like a year and a half, which I've been playing this game my whole life. It's like a 20-year-old MMO. And I was like streaming it. And obviously we're not going to upload Final Fantasy 11 videos to my main YouTube channel, which was, strictly battle royales and Fortnite. And, and this is when I accumulated 24 million subscribers. Then I started streaming Final Fantasy on Twitch, and I started uploading old videos, like re-uploads of like videos that already existed. Some of my OG like Fortnite videos, like my highest elimination old Fortnite video. And then I like switched to uploading Apex videos. Then I switched to uploading like some Call of Duty, and then Valorant, and then League of Legends. Like, dude, I just like fucked the algorithm completely and utterly. And now like, I can't, the 24 million subs are useless. They're irrelevant when I stream. And when I upload videos right now, I'm averaging anywhere from like 150 to like 200,000 views in like maybe 2 to 3 days. Whereas obviously, in Prime Fortnite, and I knew this wasn't going to hold up, but obviously in Prime Fortnite, we were pulling like, 1-2 million in like a day easily. But I think I just completely fucked myself so much that they're just like, all right, yeah, this channel is like, no, we're good.
Have you thought about like starting over to see if there was something weird with that account?
I have actually several times, but I've just never really pulled the trigger on like a fresh gaming content channel. I actually like legitimately might just do it to figure it out because there's nothing left to lose.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like it.
No, I mean, yeah, because the channel, dude, compared to obviously where it was, and like I'm pulling the same amount of views that I was pulling when I was making like Halo videos. You know what I mean? Like some of my old Halo and like PUBG videos could pull 100 to 200K, and now like my Fortnite videos, which are like very well edited by my editing team. I use Grumbe, who does like really like montagey, memey content, which is great for people that have short attention spans, which is great for YouTube because that's exactly what you need to do to retain. I mean, I talk to Mr. Beast all the time, and he's like, you want to just cut and cut and cut and do this. And I'm like, well, I'm doing that. And like, the content's definitely funny. It's definitely great. But there's my one conspiracy. I kind of like rambled.
I mean, you hear so many people talk about shadow bans. It's definitely, you've got to think on the back end of YouTube, there would be a lever that would, on probably any platform, just even for safety. Imagine somebody goes off the rails. You need to like kind of turn that amplification down. It's interesting though, when we talk to YouTube, it's like they're always like, we don't even know how our own algorithm works. Like it's morphing and changing every day, which I don't know. I can see both sides.
Yeah, for sure, man. Dude, Zach, we got incredibly sidetracked, and I love it.
Wow, we went off the deep end. We went conspiracies. We touched some stuff there.
We did, man. I want to talk. I've been watching. I've seen this when it popped off years ago, and I obviously just rewatched it now. Dude, your most viewed TikTok of all time, Zach's King Magic Broom Ride. How long did that take to film? What was like? Whose idea was it? Just talking about it.
So I think it was Halloween. I'm so bad at like both trends and also holiday stuff. I don't know if you do it as a creator or your team probably does it. They're like, hey, we need to, theme something for the holidays that are coming out. And so it was Halloween, like the next Friday, I think. And we were like scratching our heads, like, we should probably do something with a costume. And we had like the Harry Potter robe in the wardrobe. And it was like, we could buy the broomstick and do a floating thing. So we went out to shoot it, and we had a little concept. We knew it was going to be like a mirror gag, and it was just one of those videos. Like sometimes our stuff is so highly produced, super planned, takes sometimes months to figure out, and then we'll go into produce it, and we kind of know what we're going to get. But this one was very much like, let's go shoot it out in the front, I think at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right before we were leaving work. And just see what we get, kind of like do a VFX test. And if it was one of those videos too, like we have a few throwaways where it's like, let's shoot it. If it doesn't work, whatever, we'll find something else. And it was one of those. It was one of my editor's concepts. He was like, really, really wanted it to show in the beginning, which I kind of disagreed with at first. But he was like, I want the broomstick to be, you to be completely levitating in the beginning. And then when you come around, then the mirror thing. And I was like, well, it should maybe be the mirror at first, and then it magically levitates later. And but we went with his option, which was the way better choice. Yeah, kind of just we edited it in the next week and put it out there. And honestly, we didn't expect there was something around that time too. Like I mean, that goes back into conspiracies, but TikTok, I think, has just around the time it was going out to almost all of their users. Like if I was looking back, I can't remember, but on our channel, we had even a few other videos that were just touching 1 billion views or about to touch like 800, 900 million views, going up several weeks and months leading up to the Harry Potter like 2.2 billion. And so there was definitely something going on with their algorithm in a really cool way. It was just amplifying things like crazy. And so it was really surprising that we hit the 2. It was weird. There was this other issue I guess we hit with their algorithm, like it wasn't programmed. And there's some people that have made videos about it. I don't follow the math on it, but it's basically like it broke. It actually went to a negative 2 point something billion for a second. So at that point we thought it was a glitch, but then a bunch of programmers came out with some articles that were like, no, it's because you hit some sort of max limit on the way their numbers could calculate and show. And so I'm probably getting all that wrong, but basically it went negative for a couple of days and then went back to the normal number because I guess they didn't calculate anyone could ever hit that number.
Of course, dude.
But yeah, no, crazy. I mean, TikTok has that. That's what's still kind of fun about it is it has the little bit of the lottery ticket vibe to it. When you put it out, you're like, I don't know. This could be like, it could be an absolute banger. It also could be like weirdly like 1 million or 2 million viewed video. So you have that huge spread, which I think for new creators, it's hard. You can't really plan a business off of it. Like TikTok for us, we don't make any, I mean, it's very small amount on the fund. So we don't even count it in our financials just because it's like, you can't predict at all any revenue and view counts. It's just kind of there as a platform.
I want to talk about so the Magic Broom Ride. First off, I want to say comparing that to I have 2 of your other massive viral videos, the unexpected hiding spots and the glass cake video. Both of those videos, I guess you can say like the magic, if you will, like happens towards the end, right? Like where it's it's just a glass of water and at the end it's a cake. Like and it's like, oh, okay, there's like the fake thing or like the magical thing, I guess you could say. And then the Magic Broom Ride, it reveals it right away, only to show you what's fake after, which I love. And do you think that was actually the reason that your audience was like, oh my God, this content's never been like, you know what I mean? Like it's never been like this type.
I mean, that's an interesting, I've never even thought about that, but there is like on all those videos that you mentioned, a really big amount of higher turnover for watch time or more people watched it several times. And I wonder if it is because if you put the magic at the end, then they're kind of hooked and then it replays automatically, right? And then so they're like, oh, I gotta watch it again to see what's going on. That could be, now I want to do an experiment on that with new videos and see like hold the magic till the very end and just see what people think.
Right. Because like, dude, the Magic Broom Ride, when I see like, so you're flying right away, it's like, oh, this is so cool. Right. And that's usually where you show the flying off, like that's usually like the aha moment and you want to see how it's done. But when I was watching the Broom Ride, I was like, dude, I gotta see if I can find the mirror right away at the beginning. Like that's when I rewatched it like 5 times, just even like before we hopped on. I was like, dude, this is so sick. And then obviously I watched Glass Cake and Unexpected Hiding Spots, and like the Glass Cake one is awesome. But like the one that had me coming back to it again was the Broom Ride because you like find out what is fake at the end. I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever revealed it in the behind this in the main video, but in the mirror video you're talking about, there's it's a hide and seek concept. It starts with like all of us taking our own spots and hiding. I realize it's been a while since I've watched it, but my mirror reflection, or I climb into the mirror and hide in the mirror reflection of the bathroom behind the curtain. And the way we pulled that off was like building a duplicate set. And so there's actually like two identical, but one of them is backwards mirrored version set there that I like just walk into, those are always so fun to do. I love the real life practical illusions where even I'm looking in the sound booth that we're in now. It's like there's the window frame here and outside I can see the sound mixers. But if we had actually built a set to look like the one I'm in now in the sound booth, like it would be that real life mirror effect. It's like I love trying to make it as practical as possible because I feel like it's just the audience can tell nowadays when something is just CG most of the time. Even I think with the rise of like we've gotten so oversaturated with, the Marvel superhero movies and just seeing constant, really, really high quality VFX to the point where I think a viewer can just write it off as like, that's VFX or, Zach's videos are editing. And then it doesn't make it magical anymore. Like you want to actually believe for a hot second that, oh wait, is that happening? Or like my eyes I know what an iPhone video looks like. Is this like a real iPhone video or what's going on? So that's the fun of like not trying to totally fool or trick the audience, but like lean into what we all kind of know as like that iPhone viral, actual handheld footage nowadays.
Yeah, dude. So you talk about Marvel, talk about CGI. What did you think? Have you seen the new Flash movie?
I didn't see the new Flash movie. What are people talking about of the CGI?
There's just like, bro, like the baby scene, like.
Oh, I did see the baby scene. Okay, what was going on? So, you know what's sad? Like, the VFX are actually really cool from a VFX artist, but it's just like, it's the scene is strange. Like, the scene is so weird. And I also saw, it was like one of those internet clips I saw totally out of context. I was like, maybe I need to be more forgiving and go see the movie and see, but like, I'm just picturing, like, what?
I don't know what. Who saw that and was like, this is it. This is the final, like.
Well, there's some scenes in movies like that where and I don't know what their writer's room was like, but I just picture on the other side, it's in the writer's room. Because I'll have that in my writer's room. We'll all be laughing at this one joke and then it'll come up again and we're just laughing. We're like, the audience is going to love this and we'll make it, and totally falls flat because we realize it was a great joke in the writer's room. Just for the writers, really, like an inside joke. I almost feel like maybe that's what that scene was. Like they were just building off this. And what if this baby was in the microwave? And what if and then they did it. I mean, and then, they got an executive to be like, oh, that's also really funny. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen The Flash though. It sounds so pretentious. I hate saying this, but I'm kind of like a Rotten Tomatoes above 80%, and then I'll watch it unless it's like become such a big cultural movie that I need to go see it.
Dude, I'm gonna have to poke some holes in that theory, man. I've seen, like, me personally, as somebody who just loves movies, I love being entertained. I will look at a fan vote over Rotten Tomatoes every time.
Really?
Like if fans have enjoyed a movie, like I've seen some action movies or that were like 40%, 30% Rotten Tomatoes and like 80% fan. And I'm like, and I personally looked at it as well, like the trailer, and I was like, dude, this looks interesting. And like, I think at the end of the day, you have to think of, just read some of the reviews, man. It's like, oh, I think the dubious complex of the movie was great in the third try. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let someone that, leaves these types of reviews affect whether or not I'm going to, watch a movie.
I do agree with you on that. Like, I'm not like a critic of movies. I'm trying to look at the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm pulling it up right now. So like Rotten Tomatoes, what is that score made of? Is it by critics? Let's look up The Flash. The Flash Rotten Tomato. What do you think it's at? I'm guessing like 20%.
No, I was going to say 75% Rotten Tomatoes, and then I was going to say like 50% viewer.
Okay, so Rotten Tomato is 64%, and that's actually higher than I thought it would be. Wow. And then the audience score is 83%.
Interesting.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably with you. I don't pay attention to the audience score enough to know what movies I go see but if I would agree, if audience scores at 100%, like I'm going to go see it because there's something there for sure that the audience, I mean, that's, as content creators, I'm all about the retention ideally should reflect what the audience thinks, right? It's not just like an algorithm thing. It's like people didn't like it there. They left. So for sure, if the audience thinks it's 95, 100%, then I'm there. I wonder what like Barbie got. Let's see.
Barbie got great. Barbie was great, dude. Barbie got great. I think it actually got better than Oppenheimer.
Well, box office, right? It did better, but okay. Audience score is 84. Rotten. The tomato meter is actually a little higher on that, 88%.
I will use it sometimes. If I'm on the fence about a movie, I'll definitely check it out. But like, if I want to see a movie, if it just looks interesting, like I'm in, bro. You know what I mean? I love the popcorn, the candy, dude. For me, it's large popcorn, shitload of butter. I always carry extra salt packets. But no, there's something about just going to movies. So if I see, that's how I look at it, man. Hey everyone, Ninja here, and let me tell you about something that'll amp up your NFL playoff experience like never before. It's game time with DraftKings Sportsbook. Yup, the official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Here's the best part for you newbies out there. If you bet just $5 on any game and bam, 200 instantly in bonus bets are yours. To claim this epic offer, all you need to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code NINJA. New customers can bet just $5 to get 200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code NINJA. With DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. In fact, Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/podcast free. All lowercase, shopify.com/podcast free, shopify.com/podcast free.
So recently, I mentioned this in the intro, you worked with Gal Gadot. How do celebrity shoots come about? Generally, who reaches out to who for you guys? Is it kind of like a little bit of both?
Yeah, it's a mix. Like on that one, her team reached out and they were like, "Hey, she's got some time in LA. X date. You guys want to do something? She's a fan, kind of stuff." And that's how most of them go. But they're usually a long process. Like I have a talent relations on my team, and he does an incredible job reaching out to people if we really have like a dream collab. And like to get Tom Brady, I know we were talking to his team for like a year and a half of just waiting for dates to line up and our dates to line up, and then you get that wonderful timing and where it just eventually works out. But it's always really fun. Like we are always given a different range of time. Like we'll go in a couple hours and prep before, and then they'll come in and sometimes they give us half a day. Sometimes they give us just a couple hours, and it's fun. And it's fun for them too. Like especially if you do it apart. Sometimes we'll attach as a PR day. And for people who don't know what that is, PR day is like actors in their contracts have a certain amount of days they have to go and do press for the movie. And then we'll sometimes slot in. It's usually just journalists. You've probably done a bunch of those, right? Like you'll get them for a couple hours on a thing. And I've noticed they love like popping into our stuff just because it zaps them out of these like journalist interviews that it's really weird. Like, and you know this, you just get into this weird, you're there, but you're not because the questions are the same. And you just get into this rhythm of like, oh, no way. Twitch streaming is, how do you make money off of that? And you go right into this like pre-formulated script that your mind knows and like, you're not really there. And so it's fun to go on our set. And I remember Gal even like snapped out of it for a hot second. At the beginning, it's like, wait, what are we? This is like crazy. This is like so fun. And so that's always just fun to like be a different experience for people in those crazy PR days. I can't imagine doing PR for a movie like that. It's gotta be I haven't done like weeks and weeks of PR, you know. The closest thing I did was a book tour, and it's like, it's a lot.
It is a lot. I've done it announcing several times, like platform switches, and definitely not to the level of that though, of any like actor or actress. No, it always looks mind numbing, man. Sitting there answering the same questions over and over again. And dude, I think that it's so cool that your team and what you guys do provides like that like snap out of the matrix, snap out of like the, you know, that moment, just the vague, constant, so this movie, what was the process like? And they're just like, you know, in my head, when I'm doing stuff like that, I'm just like for me, if it's like the more natural things are and the more interesting things are, obviously the more fun you're going to have. So that's super cool that you were able to give her that moment where she's just like, oh my God, this isn't just like a generic collab. Like it's actually something that's going to, you know, mean something and be, you know, just.
What's weird now is like a lot of the people we collaborate with, like her kids are fans, but it's a common theme. Like they've seen the videos because their kids play it on YouTube, or it's one of the few channels they're allowed to watch is a common one. And it's like I'm always like, I'm only 33, but it makes me feel old. And they're like, my 15-year-old only grew up on you. You're their childhood, and I'm like, wait, what?
Dude, I've been streaming for like almost 12 years and I've had people like come up like the exact same thing. And it's just like, oh my God, bro. Some of my coolest like celebrity moments, and most of them were off screen really, were because like their kids were fans. And it's just like, holy shit. Like this is awesome. But also
I'm really old. What are the people going to be saying to us in like 30 years? They're going to be like, oh, I used to watch you like half a decade ago or half a century ago.
It's already happening to me. It's already happening to me, man. I've been making content for like 15 years. I'm 32. I've been uploading since I was like 18.
Well, it's kind of like dog years, internet years or something like that. It'd be just the way it's progressing.
We're fine.
So we're like 85 years old in internet dog years.
I think I'll just not go out ever again. If I ever have that moment where like it's like a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old is like, dude, I've been watching you for 15 years. That's going to do it for me.
I mean, that would be crazy. If we didn't do productions around LA, I wouldn't leave my office. Like with DoorDash now, I'm like, sometimes you don't like, it's kind of crazy. Like you don't have to leave.
It's every day for me, man. We use DoorDash, Uber Eats, and do we need groceries? Instacart is like king.
I just went to a pho restaurant right before this interview, and when I was checking out, do you like pho?
I love pho, dude.
It's so good. The poor lady, she had 8 devices plugged in, different devices like little iPads and tablets. And I was like, "What is that? Is that your delivery system?" She's like, "Yeah, I have to have a different one for each one." And it just looked all pieced together, and I felt so bad. And they were like all going. It looked like the most complicated. I'm sure it's changed the restaurant industry forever. There's no going back. But I see that set up everywhere on the back end for them. It's probably a lot to deal with. Everybody's got a different checkout process.
Yeah, especially if you're using different people, right? There's like Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and
so now it seems like that made me think like, do we need to make an app for just all of the apps again? And
just one more, like another dude. Yeah, man. BlackRock will obtain it. And
yeah, there we go.
You and I, we are okay. This is like, I feel like I'm almost asking myself these questions. Vine and Musical.ly days, dude. Set the stage for what creating for Vine and Musical.ly was like. How different is it from TikTok? Just walk us through. Walk me through that. Walk us through that. What was that like?
Dude, that's a deep pull. Musical.ly, no one talks about Musical.ly anymore. Vine was classic. What I love about Vine, what it kind of did for me was like a creative limitation of the 6 seconds was a different approach. Like I had been doing YouTube for maybe 6 years at the time, and it was like mildly successful. It was enough like where I thought that was going to be my living. I had started my YouTube channel when I was in college. Around the time Vine came out, which was 2013. Yeah, so I was probably making on YouTube like $24,000 a year in AdSense or something like that. It was like still a fairly new partner program process. I think they had just maybe opened it up so anyone could apply at that point, but it had just come from like you had to be asked. So I didn't have a great format. I was getting a couple million views on random videos here and there, but it was still very much the Wild West of YouTube. And then Vine came out. And when Vine happened, like literally day one, 100,000 revines on the first video. First month had it was double my YouTube channel. So I think I had 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Then I had 1 million on Vine in a month. And so it was kind of natural. Like I slowly, just time-wise, like I loved Vine. It was so fun. The engagement was, and I could tell it wasn't like, it was a real life engagement. Like the next day after my first Vine, I got recognized way more in the store for Vine than my YouTube channel. Like maybe twice a week I'd get recognized for my YouTube channel. But all of a sudden, like 5 people in the store the next day were like, dude, I saw this Vine and were you in that Vine? And then within a month, it was like hard to go to the store. And so I knew it was like real life engagement because at first I was like, there's no way these numbers are real, 100,000 revines on each. And I thought they were, but then what proved it to me was like how much you'd get stopped in real life. And I was like, well, that has to be real then. That makes sense. And so it kind of changed my trajectory. Like it's one regret I have, but it makes sense given the resources I had. I didn't hire anyone to keep my YouTube channel up. That one slowly died. I mean, it's still out there dusting. Probably I have it connected somewhere to an email, but it's out there. It's no longer in use. And it was like a film channel, but the Vine stuff was more like it just hit a mainstream audience, which was fun for me and something I had been trying to crack anyway. And then Musical.ly, man, that's a weird reference because I remember going on Musical.ly, basically to describe it to anyone listening that doesn't know, Musical.ly was what TikTok was before. I think ByteDance bought it and rebranded it as TikTok because it had a built-in audience. And the audience was, what I loved about it is it was such a sleeper. I remember telling so many of my YouTube friends, like, guys, you got to get on Musical.ly. It's an app where at the time, what was kind of crazy is I remember Dub Smash was taking off and I was both on trying to grow a following on Dub Smash and Musical.ly, but I thought Musical.ly was like, the engagement was way better. The community was way cooler. But I remember feeling weird because it was a platform of mostly girls. I mean, the demographic had to be, I don't remember if they had demographics available on the software, but it was like, I'm guessing 95%. Because all the people that would come up to me that were like, hey, I'm a fan of your Musical.ly, were all girls. And it was very much like what TikTok was known for in the very beginning, which is, and still probably is a lot of dancing and like, and that they definitely have tried to get away from that branding. And that's just one facet of what there are. But in the beginning, that's like what Musical.ly all was. Like everything was, in the beginning, because they had the transition period. So we were on there and I thought it was just fun that the energy of music, what it was adding to my videos. So I was starting to do some custom stuff. And what's crazy, like one of the secrets I think, that I don't think I talk about much, but the reason we're so big on TikTok is because we were big on Musical.ly. Like, so when they rebranded, we already had a jumpstart of, I can't remember, but somewhere between 20 and 28 million followers already. And so it just was a huge, leap ahead of everybody else. And then the growth on TikTok eventually it kind of waned for a little bit. Like when they rebranded, I remember it kind of like, we were like, is it dead now? Is it gonna, and then like in late 2018, it just like, I don't know what was in the water, but it just...
Fortnite was 2018. Fortnite's peak was 2018. That was like when I was averaging like hundreds of thousands of viewers like concurrently. And
that was like, it was during that wave because I would, there was a ton of buzz about your stuff around that time when we were blowing up on TikTok. Because at one point, all these companies were like, hey, do you want to start a Twitch? And I was like, I think it's way harder than just like doing it. Dude, that became a VC thing during that. There was like a bubble of that, I feel like. Everyone saw you and a bunch of people do it and they're like, oh, looks easy. They're just streaming video games. You guys wanted to hop on that? And we're like, I don't think it's that easy.
No, man. If you talk about like the magic, man, like what you do and the videos that you create, the time and how methodical you are with it, like it's the same thing with like artists and I would almost say like every other type of content creation, like actors, singers, dancers, so like people that all that stuff, like when you stream, like there's like the image of you where you are. And like it could be the exact same even when you're live, but people see you as this, like let's just say Drake or Taylor Swift. Like if they like started to stream every day, like 8 hours a day and like played video games and like interacted with their chat, like the mysticalness, if you will, right? Like falls away almost. Like when rather than, you see Drake pop up on like a podcast once every 4 years or something like that, or or you can only see him when he's performing, like same with Taylor. Like they become this, literally like this magical fucking person that you're like, oh my God, they're real, but then they're gone again.
It adds to that like mysticism versus the stream kind of just the facade's going to break in the first 2 days, right?
100%. Like the very first stream ever, if it's 30 minutes, dude, that's awesome. That's incredible. I actually like recommend people doing it like once in a blue moon on like a super dope special occasion. Like if you already have been established elsewhere in the world as like, again, like an actor, like Ryan Reynolds, like I would never tell Ryan Reynolds to start streaming, like ever. You know what I mean? Every time he graces the internet with like a viral video or a funny little comedy thing here and there, like it's just timeless. It's amazing. But if he's there on camera 8 hours every single day, it's, for 5 days a week, it's just like it's almost like he becomes a person again in that way. Whereas like if I stream 8 hours every single day, like that's great because, I'm giving I'm a streamer already and I'm giving people content that, in long form, which is what, they love to begin with. But that's not how it is for everyone else. But
yeah, I totally see that. And it's like, it seems like an athletic feat though. To be and like it's different skills to do. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. I couldn't do it.
It's tough. I mean, listen, you have to again. It's not for everybody, man. There are some people that are born to be streamers with like if they have like a crazy ADD brain and maybe they're even more entertaining. They have more to offer than just like what they do and what they what they're known for. I guess you could say. But more often than not, it's that like distance from people. Your audience is what keeps them like in love with you and keeps them, again, like mystified. You're like this person where they can, they'll never see you unless you go, you go to a concert. And even then you probably won't meet them. Right. Like, but you do it's a lot more personal when you're streaming. So it would remove that and it wouldn't be good for a lot of people. Yeah, it's very interesting, man. Dude, fun fact about Vine or about TikTok. I was offered several times to start posting content there. And I kept saying no because I just was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like a dancing app. Like, I'm not going to do that. And my guy kept coming to me, my agent, Kelly, I love him to death. He's like, Tyler, I'm telling you, man, this app has a lot more to offer than just these videos. And I was just like, dude, I was just so in my own head. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not uploading videos. Like, come to find out, like 2 years later, I'm obsessed with it. I'm on it all the time and I'm uploading to it now for free. So
it was really satisfying though to like tell all my friends, this is like probably about mid 2018, like guys, TikTok, this is going to blow up. Like this is the coolest app ever. And telling people, and I would show them and they'd be swiping and be like, this is not interesting. And to be fair, like the algorithm was still just getting worked on. But then it was like, I think early 2019, all my friends were on it. And I was like, guys, told you. It's still to this day, I rub it in their faces. Like, remember when we were in my kitchen and you were like, I will never download that.
Yeah, I was the guy, bro. That was me. That was literally me every day on my stream. They're like, Tyler, have you seen this TikTok? I was like, no, man, I'm not going to go on that app where all the girls are just dancing. Now it's, dude, I'm on it, a couple hours a day, dude.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. In fact, Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/podcast free. All lowercase, shopify.com/podcast free. Shopify.com/podcast free.
We're going AFK with Ninja. What's he gonna say?
All right, Zach, this or that? It's quite simple. You can honestly give me super quick answers or you can go in depth if you feel like you need to. Are you ready?
Yes.
Practical effects or visual effects?
Oh, it has to be either or. I'm going to go with visual effects.
Okay. Big productions or guerrilla shoots?
Oh man, you're killing me with these, dude. I'm going to go with guerrilla.
Okay. Filming with a phone or professional camera?
Professional camera.
Improv creation or meticulously planned work?
Meticulously planned work.
I think I love improv a little bit more when something's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's do this.
Yeah, I love the energy of it, but what I've noticed is those videos, like the meticulous ones usually are like the bangers. The improv, once in a while they'll pop, but it's like, I don't know. I love seeing something fully planned and like come to fruition.
Sure, I see it. All right, Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton?
Oh, Buster Keaton, for sure. So underrated.
I love that. Date night out or date night in?
Date night in.
Yes, dude. What is that? Give me what's your date night in? Like, what is it?
We have been getting a lot of fresh tuna from a friend who's a fisherman. So it'll be cooking sashimi, doing a bunch of like tuna cakes, all kinds of like sushi, maybe a little, if we're really splurging, like a little A5 Wagyu, just lightly seared.
I'll take an invite to that, man. Jess and I would love to come over. Oh my God. I'll bring the dogs.
Yeah, bring the dogs. I'll cook it up for them. I'm sure. Can they have raw fish? I don't even know. Maybe not. Maybe we'll skip that.
Will Jedi Kittens get a re-release?
Well, wouldn't that be funny? It's like a remastered with better VFX, like they do the Star Wars 10-year. Maybe someday. I kind of feel like we've left that series alone, but for people who don't know, I made a series called Jedi Kittens on YouTube. Like that was one of my early viral videos. I don't know, maybe it does need a re-release. You know what happened though? I shot a fourth one. It was a pod racing thing, and I dropped the hard drive when I was transferring it to the editor. Like at the meetup, I dropped it at the coffee shop, and we couldn't get the footage. But there's an unreleased somewhere out in I don't know, on a broken hard drive, a whole pod racing kittens scene that maybe needs to get me remade.
Oh my God, that sounds incredible, dude. Now this is pod racing.
Yeah, it was called Paw Racing with the PAW.
Oh my, that's genius, dude. I need to see this. I can envision it now.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, what is your go-to on-set food?
Seaweed. It's tastes great. It always looks bad in the teeth. Got to check the teeth before going back to set, but seaweed.
Okay, 3 things you can't live without right now.
3 things. My pour-over machine. It's this really cool ratio coffee machine out of a company in Portland, Oregon, and it's automatic pour-over, so I get it ready in the morning, and then it just hit the button, and it's amazing. My cold plunge and then sauna is the last 2 and 3.
Cold plunge and saunas, dude. So, like, have you noticed? I mean, talked about the health benefits, like in a nutshell. I mean, life changing.
I love it. Here's the thing: it's become super trendy. It's not about like a lot of people will come over and be like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna go for 10 minutes." I'm like, "Well, I from the early, I mean, there's not a ton of data on this. I do it because I like the feeling of it. I don't even if there's no science behind it, I really enjoy it. I feel like I have better days when I do it, and I do it almost every day. But I weirdly can tell when I skip a morning, like that day is just it's okay, but like the energy I get from it feels great. And I enjoy just sitting in the sun. It's my time to read. Actually, I have a little library stack of books that I'm always going through, and it's my 30 minutes a day of reading in the morning. So I really enjoy just kind of the seclusion away from kids in that moment. But yeah, the science that I've read though is like right now it's about 11 or 12 minutes a week in cold is actually it's then diminishing returns. You don't need to go for these like Wim Hof level 20-minute sessions. So I just hop in there every morning for like a minute 20, minute 30 is my thing. Once in a while, if we have friends over, it's kind of fun as a dare to go for a couple minutes, but that's a good time. Do you have a cold plunge?
I don't, man, but I dabble. I understand the benefits of it. Like, and I will, when I'm, done golfing or working out, like I will turn the shower on and just jump in. Like I'll turn it on and I'll turn it on cold, but I'll jump in and like have that freezing cold water hit me for like 10 seconds. And then it kind of warms up to like bearable. And then I just take that cold shower. No, by no means am I cold plunging right now. It does seem like there's just so many incredible benefits.
Especially if you're sitting a lot every day, which I imagine you are, like it just moves the blood around, both the sauna and the cold in different ways. And so I feel like that would be good just for circulation. I mean, as an editor, I sit a lot every day. Like, I try to take meeting walks just to get moving.
Yeah. I mean, I have a standing desk. I try to use that at least once every other day for like an hour a day. I'm take my dogs for a walk twice a day. I usually work out every day or every other day.
Oh, that's actually awesome.
Thank you, man. I mean, I'm trying to get my hip flexors and just in general, like I'm old, bro. I'm feeling it. If you guys are out there, you're young, you're old, just stretch. It's, I think it's one of the most I feel more energetic after I've stretched. Even if like I'm just now able to like touch my toes when I'm sitting down. When I like, you like put one leg in and you reach, both hands. Like I'm starting to get that flexibility back. And I used to be a soccer player, so I used to be incredibly flexible. Okay. How do you know when your work is finished?
Oh, that's a tough one. For me, I need to get it like 95% of the way there. I know with a lot of artists and myself in the past, like not hitting the publishing button has been a problem because of perfection. And I'm always bummed to see people not, hit publish or just finish something and move on because they're in perfectionist mode. I think it's actually like almost a fault to be a perfectionist to a point if it's holding you back. So for me, I know if it's a really clean edit, just me and my entire team, we just know when we see it. I mean, we have a really, really high standard for the actual editing and tricks of it. Sometimes we'll release something, I'm like, I think the story could have been better. But then often we'll just post that and it's up to the audience to decide and see what they think. So I'll tend to publish more than just be hung up in perfection mode.
What was one dangerous practical effect fail you've had?
I've been super lucky. I mean, knocking on wood here to not have anything really dangerous happen or any injuries. We've done so many wire works over the years and stunts and some pretty crazy stunts too at really high heights or really fast pullbacks or whatever. The actual worst injury we had was not even me, but it was I have a slight injury. It wasn't even related to a stunt though. It was on a non-stunt day production and the framing of a set. It was my fault too. I walked on a hot set and the construction team was still building it, the doorway, and I didn't realize they hadn't screwed it on. So when I walked through, I moved the set and the door frame, which was made out of 2x4s, fell and hit my head. And at first I was like, oh, frick, that's going to be a concussion. But luckily, we just kind of sat it out, had the medic check it out, and we went back to filming in a couple hours. That was my worst thing, which was a dumb thing. And then the stunt-wise, we had one of our actors that was a co-star with me jump through. Like we were doing one of our gags where I jump like through a portal on the floor kind of thing. And we do this practically. So I'll be up about 4 feet on a raised platform. We'll have a hole in the wall, on the floor. And he dove through. And when he went through, his heels nicked the wood entrance. And it like gave him a pretty bad sprain, like to the point like we had to file like workers' comp for it. Luckily but that's the worst thing. It was like his bruised heel for like 2 months was really painful.
Dude, okay, I got a 10-second bruised heel story. It's more like 30 seconds. So we're out at this place. It's where like a bunch of yachts and boats go. It's like 3 feet, 4 feet of water. It's absolutely stunning because it's on the Emerald Coast. It's beautiful. So you get there, you basically just get hammered all day. You drink, etc., and you just hop from boat to boat if you want to and just meet new people. It's really dope. But it was my first time there. This place is called Crab Island. It was my first time there. I was absolutely obliterated. And these guys are like, yo, Ninja, come on the boat. Dude, take a shot with us. Jumped on the boat. And this one guy goes, nah, dude. Like, so it was like a whole group of them, of kids. And this one kid goes, nah, dude, no ninjas allowed. Like, as a joke. So in my head, I was also so hammered. I was like, fine, fuck you then. And I just like jokingly jumped back in the ocean.
Oh, no. Did you catch your foot?
My heels just dug into the ocean sand, like full force. No.
Oh, no. Oh, that must have hurt so bad.
I couldn't walk for a week.
Wait,
I woke up the next morning and I was crawling.
You land in the water and like, do you get up and like save face and go back to your boat? Or is it so painful like people came and got you?
No, I saved face and I walked through the ocean for the next like 3 hours. I even climbed onto other boats and slid down slides. It was bad. It was terrible. Luckily, like when I was in the water, it was like bearable because, like it was like softer as I was like kind of like going through, but it was terrible. If you had to delete all but 3 apps from your phone, which ones would you keep? And that does not include like Google Mail or your Gmail.
I would go with LoopNet, which is, you could technically do this online, but I just enjoy doing it on my phone. It's usually when I have like 10 minutes in an airport kind of thing. But it's like real estate, but more like businesses. So it'll have like some residential, but it's mostly like industrial or retail. Zillow for homes, and then Robinhood for trading.
So no TikTok, no Twitter, no Spotify.
Yeah, I don't keep I don't keep like text. I do have a texting phone if I need for my wife, but I don't really text that well. And on my like real phone, I don't have any social media stuff. It's just I have a posting phone that I don't really use social media myself, which is kind of weird. It feels like a little antithetical that I post, but on social media. But yeah.
We'll do this. Great. All right. And then the final question, man, you can take this as literal as you want or as philosophical as you want. Define AFK, and what do you do when you are AFK?
When I'm away from keyboard, I'm either with family, but my go-to thing is like every year, my birthday, I run that mile, that amount of miles on trails. And so I think it was 34 this year because I did 34.5 or something. Yeah, it's like, I love trail running, getting out there and getting nature, fresh air. It's like, that's my away from keyboard.
Oh, man, I absolutely love that. Dude, Zach, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here, man. I know that I could sit here and literally talk to you probably for another 5 hours. But you got a life, you got a family, you got kids, you got stuff to do. Busy man. Thank you for coming on, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And there you have it, folks. We've reached the end of another epic AFK with Ninja episode. If you've enjoyed the journey thus far, please consider leaving a rating, review, and hitting that follow button. We have a ton of incredible guests coming your way, and I want you to be the first to know when a new episode drops. Until next time, catch you soon.
It's